Okay, we'll be live soon. Soon. Special Chronicles 12 Celebrations Series Finale. Daniel's Rockin' New Year's Eve will be live soon. A 2-hour live show with appearances by friends from United Airlines, Special Olympics, and Helping Hand Center. Much more fun. Please donate. SpecialChronicles.com/New Year's Eve 2020.
You gotta speak louder, Daniel.
Yeah. There we go. And, I should. The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out PodmanDan.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. It is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles. This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is a show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try. It's time we care. It's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 406, Daniel's Rockin' New Year's Eve. Also, Special Chronicles 12, Celebration Series Finale. Daniel's Rockin' New Year's Eve, Greatest Hits, Best of 2020. It starts right now. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Striver International Global Merchandise with Special Olympics. And we're back. We had a couple last minute technical difficulties with StreamYard before going live, and so we'll also live streaming this episode. But joining me back for our New Year's Eve, well, we're recording this on New Year's Eve, December 31st, is my dad, also a business manager and board member at Special Chronicles.
Hello, everybody.
Oh wait, I should unmute you.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year and welcome to our Special Chronicles New Year celebration.
It's good to be back. We have an exciting show for the listeners, awesome listeners, right?
Absolutely. We've been working at this, preparing for all month, actually, because we had a series of different events this month to celebrate our 12-year anniversary of Special Chronicles, and it's culminating today with the New Year's celebration.
I can't talk. What a way to kick off the show. The series finale of our Special Chronicles 12 celebrations.
Right.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. So we will be reflecting on the year that was 2020. We'll look back in just a moment on the countless hours of podcasts we've produced this year in 2020. Just a small taste of some of the best of episodes. There's some other episodes that are some other shows that we've produced that are also among the most popular. But in a 15-minute segment, we're only able to, in like a greatest hits, we're only able to kind of include just that. But don't worry, because coming up in the second hour, you are going to want to stay tuned, because coming up in the second hour, we will be giving you our greatest hits live. We will be back live, giving you our retrospective, our favorite memories of the podcast on Special Chronicles. We produced this year, 2020. Share with you some of our favorite memories. And then finally, we will conclude with our resolutions of opportunities that we're calling it, where we last half hour we'll look ahead to 2021 and basically let that fourth wall down of the studio. And you listeners will get to, at the end of this 2-hour live show, hear what a typical behind-the-scenes conversation is like, right?
Yeah, it'll be just the exchange of ideas, and that's what we felt like the New Year's celebration
At the end,
is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And, we planned out several things, as Daniel just explained, but
some stuff that might come off the top of our heads, and so that's why if you would like, listeners, go to specialchronicles.com. Go to our contact page. It's underneath just look in the show notes for this episode 406, and you can contact us. And let us know what you think of some of these ideas. Again, at the end of this, at the end of this episode.
Right. Are you about ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think we are.
That sounds good.
Let's go ahead and
we'll start there, but let me just put a little plug in to say, during this 12-year celebration, we had a goal to raise some funds to help us keep producing all these wonderful shows and to try to make a difference in the lives of so many people by giving them respect and voice to people with special needs and their families and their friends and the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a goal of $12,000. We're actually 75% of the way there. So
yes,
we're pretty excited.
Yeah. So
if you
go to specialchronicles.com and click on Give Now.
I mean, just
your
support. We got the support lines open all the way through midnight tonight. So. Again, I thank everybody that's supported us so far. It's just, we're really excited to be able to get 75% of a very aggressive goal, but it truly does help us be able to accomplish everything that we want to do and to operate the studio.
Yeah, and some new things that we hope to do next year as well.
Right.
So please, if you love and care for this mission, if you love and care and find these podcasts, this content on specialchronicles.com, empowering and beneficial for yourself and your family and friends, and then please help us. It goes a long way, but help us to be able to continue to produce these shows. Specialchronicles.com. Click on the Give Now banner, and you can do that.
And again, I want to thank everybody that supported us so far. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome, and we will come back right after we hear from what's coming up. Oh, you want me to say it? Okay. I guess I am the host. I mean, all right. Coming up. Wait a minute. Coming up right now, we will get to our Special Chronicles Greatest Hits, Best of Highlights Wheel, where we reflect on the year that was 2020 and look back at the countless hours of podcasts we've produced this year in the year that was 2020. Right now on specialchronicles.com. Don't hit pause. We'll be back after this Greatest Hits podcast highlight wheel. You ever wondered what it would be like to be on a podcast? Well, you are about to see. I'll start with my intro in 3, 2, 1. Cue the intro music.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is a show where we broadcast disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Live from Mobile International Airport, United Airlines, the lowest club. This is Daniel. We don't have that spotlight that we had before, but I am Daniel from the Special Chronicles and the Southern Side of the International Global Wrestling Special Olympics, and social ambassador at United Airlines. We're doing a couple of things during this stream, the podcast. We're going to kind of reset doing a couple of things. So first, Susie, you're going to interview me, and then we're going to kind of switch gears, and I'm going to stop the audio podcast, and we'll reset, and then I have the host the conversation with you. So for this first part, why don't you just kind of kick it off?
So I was just going to say, sitting here across from you, when I arrived at O'Hare this morning, you don't even know this, I was going through the security line, and you were walking through that lobby like you owned the place. You are saying hello to people. People know your name. You are a true celebrity here at United.
You saw me this morning?
I did. I was too far away. I would have made a scene if I yelled from across the security line, so I didn't do that. But I was just observing and seeing you, and I know it's not easy. I know it takes work, but seeing you from afar, seeing you do your thing as you are leading your podcast, you would never know that that is something that you struggle with. You have mastered it beautifully, and I know it's something that you struggle with every day.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion, because I had like growing up like in high school, even before, like there was times when in my very early years, back when I had a lot more hair, and
the laughter button is the teal button.
No. That's like the drum one.
So we use the term celebrity, and you hear the term celebrity all over the place, right? And there are some good celebrities and some bad celebrities, and some celebrities that use their influence for positive things. I definitely put you in that category. So what you are doing through Special Chronicles, through the Unified at Work, special series, through your amazing
international.
I was going to say all of the things, but no, I've also been listening to your Daniel and Georgia podcast.
Now it's the Georgia and Daniel.
Of course it is. Did you all hear that? That's amazing, as it should be. And
all fans, I put a poll on Instagram stories, and all fans voted. 85% of all fans voted to change it.
Congratulations, Georgia.
It's not what I wanted, but
it's all right. The fans have spoken, and Georgia is in the lead.
Yeah. Which as it should be.
You are 100% right.
I love Georgia, and all fans love her too.
And the fans love her too, which is incredible. But all of these things and all these platforms, and like you said, your internet, on specialchronicles.com, what you're doing now of literally being a face in the airport to our customers, literally being a face on one of our ad campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
And what you are doing is so good. You are a celebrity that is driving a message that is changing people's lives. Like, that's gotta be overwhelming. How does that feel?
It's really humbling to really be that face. Well, a lot of times, yes, growing up in my early years, people would know me, but they would always know me as that kid with challenges. I feel like there was a high emphasis on that label that I and all of us, the original UFO, have. But now I feel like when people see us, they see us not for. They see me not for my disability, but they see me for what I'm able to do, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
It's amazing. You inspire me. You I learn from you. I just get so motivated by you, which part of it is what prompted our coffee talk. And I don't think either one of us had a sip of coffee yet. So maybe we need to officially have a sip of coffee.
Wait. I thought coffee talk was in the next episode.
Well, maybe we can have two. So we're going to figure out how to have a sip of coffee through mass.
We're going to have two coffee talks. Okay.
We'll call this one a coffee sip.
Coffee sip.
And we'll have an in-depth coffee talk coming up shortly.
I'll start. I'm Jonna McGrath, and I have been with United for 32 years, and I have worked all over our system. So I agree with Daniel. United is the way to go. We have the great app. We have clean aircraft. It is safe to fly. We want everyone to get back in the friendly skies. I came into the work with Special Olympics and the amazing opportunity to work with Daniel, Lauren, Z, and Kyle through our partnership with Special Olympics. And we started with just doing some job share opportunities out here at the airport. So day trips, showing them what we do, having them make announcements, and they have opportunities that they may not have otherwise had. So that's how it was born. And I am honored to work with all of you.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and I am a assistant manager customer service here at United. And I've been in the industry for over 13 years, but I've only been with United for going on 3 years in November, but I'm glad to be part of the team. And I'm honored that Jonna and Rick have included me with our first job share program in February. What I think inclusion means to me is really just showing people respect and making them feel that there's nothing that they can't do, and everybody has something to bring. And really, in the end of the day, we are just one big family. In the end, we need to care for each other, and that's just what I see inclusion as, just really caring for each other and really not seeing any differences.
Awesome.
I think Steve was right on, but I think, seeing past differences and embracing the good in everyone and, finding kindness in our heart instead of insecurities is what inclusion means to me. Like really giving everyone the same opportunities and knowing that sky is the limit, right?
The actual sky.
The actual sky is, right? That we care about each other and we show that in how we act every day. And it doesn't matter who we're dealing with, that we should treat them all the same and give the same opportunities and make sure that we're building those connections. So when we talk about connecting the world and, connecting people, making those connections, that's really what inclusion is about.
Awesome. And so
my name is Chris Winston. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Special Olympics Illinois. I got involved because I had a brother who was an athlete. He was a bowler who passed away in 1999. And I was in the radio business for about 18 years and then volunteered in his memory for about 8 years. And then in 2008, made the jump and started working for Special Olympics Illinois for 3 of those years, and then went to Special Olympics International for a year, and then back to Illinois for coming up on another about 3.5 years so far. So really in the memory of my brother who was an athlete.
Awesome.
And I know that's how our relationship started. And I was really honored when you called me to say you were going to apply to be a Sergeant Schreiber International Global Messenger and you wanted me to be your mentor. So I was really, really honored by that, that you would choose me. And then when you got it, it's interesting because I didn't know what it would entail, not in a bad way. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And then when you got it, I had a lot of people who knew what it involved. Somebody said to me right away, "You're going to Abu Dhabi?" And I'm like, "I am." So that was a nice little highlight. Yeah. And to go to Abu Dhabi to carry your bags, which was pretty much what I did, was a really, really awesome experience. So again, thank you. I didn't thank you before. But thanks again.
Well, I'm honored to have you as my mentor.
Back to Special Chronicles Live. We're here in Chicago. I'm here with Tony
Wiley, like Coyote.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I should ask you how to pronounce your name, but
Wiley.
Wiley.
I've been called that a bunch of times. Wiley Coyote.
And Tony is the regional president
of North America. Yes.
Special Olympics North America. Welcome to Special Chronicles Live.
I'm honored to be here. Thanks for your patience, and I'm really eager to talk to you. When I met you last time I was here in Chicago is when we did the job shadowing day at here. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you what, it reminded me a lot of what my old life, because like a football game, there were a lot of smiles, there were a lot of cheering. There was a lot of passion, and there was a lot of fun, and that's what I've experienced. And everyone was really happy. He was really proud, and I was proud of everyone that was working, everyone that was shadowing, all the athletes that were there, and the athletes that actually, like you, that work at O'Hare Airport, was able to show us around. But really, at the end of the day, it was a sense of accomplishment, and that's something that everyone's working towards. Kind of like in football, you're working towards one goal is to win, and that day we definitely won, and we're winning every day with this movement.
Yeah, exciting to do this. It was
nervous because it looks like
see, you're not even on the mic yet, but speaking of the voice that you would have heard if he was not muted is Bill Dryle. Bill is the CEO of the Helping Hand Center in Countryside, Illinois. Welcome to Special Chronicles Live, Bill.
Daniel, you have a lot of power there with the mute button. The only way you could keep me quiet is with that mute button.
Yeah.
A lot of people would like that.
I know. I'm sure a lot of our new listeners who from your community in the Helping Hand Center will probably love that power.
That power. That'd be fun for them. Yeah.
So
in the past 8-9 years that I get involved in helping people with developmental disabilities. And to me, it's one of the most amazing things that I've ever done. It transformed not just my life, but my family's life, my children's life. My wife changed her job to be a paraprofessional in the schools because she saw how much I enjoyed it and how rewarding it was. So it's a big deal to me. I'll tell you a quick story if you want to hear it. So when I first got into working with people with developmental disabilities, I knew one person that had Down syndrome in my life. And I went to this organization and there were 200 people with disabilities all in one room when I walked in coming to say hi to me. And it freaked me out. It was something I didn't know what to do because I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They wanted to know who I was. They wanted to connect with me, and I needed my space. And I really thought I made a bad decision, and I'm not going to be able to help people. And my wife actually said to me, "Go back to work because if they're people, you can help them because you're good with people." And I did. And when I realized every day I would hang out with the people I served, and the more and more I realized that they are people and they have such special abilities, and being different is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Being different is cool. And I really enjoyed that part. And I said, you know what, this is the career I want to stay focused in. And I did. I think that we train when we should be teaching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, it's like, here's push this key and push that. And we go, look, they're working. But if we learn to teach, then they can explore and they can go, there's a better way of doing this. I got a short story. So there's this one guy who we had him go to a manufacturing plant. He would pick something and put it in a box like Amazon.
Yeah.
Right. And so the people at the place said, I don't think he can do the job as well as somebody without a disability. And I said, why? You know, and they said, well, he doesn't talk a lot. And I said, but nobody talks here. He's by himself. Who's he going to talk to? So why are you judging him on talking when that's not the skill set you need? And he goes, fine, let's see if he can do it. He has to pick this many things and put them in a box at this amount of time. Go. And the guy did it. And he nailed it. And he's like, wow, he's as good as our guys. And I said, now tell him to do as many as he can. And he almost doubled it.
Awesome.
And he was like, my guys can do more. I go, right, because he wants to do his job. He wants to be here, and he knows a better way of doing it. Let him have a career, not just do what you're told and stand in front and not bring as much value.
Yeah. So yeah,
Let me tell you something. I think one of the programs we have is teaching together, and we have people with developmental disabilities that are teaching assistants in private schools for little kids.
Awesome.
And when I've gone and watched the program, to look at somebody without a disability, looking up at somebody with a disability and saying, how do you spell this? I think that changes the world.
Can you say that again? Because that was really powerful to close on.
Because I think when the little child without a disability looks up at somebody with a disability and says, how do I spell this? That's changing the world, because it's not just us connecting, it's showing the power that somebody with a disability has, is I could learn from them too. And I think that's moving the needle.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
I saw you guys backstage kind of jamming out, doing the little intro.
Let's be honest. I was the one jamming out. Roger was sitting like a bump on the log.
Yeah. I didn't want to point anybody out, but so
are not super connected to Special Olympics Illinois, other than we live really close to your Lombard location. But we hop, skip, and a jump. We do have a connection to the special needs community. Our daughter has autism, and she is utterly amazing. And it's been just amazing to watch her grow and develop and just become the smartest gal we ever thought we ever could have. So, but with all of her successes come new challenges, and text Daniel now. So this has been really, really special for us to participate in this, because we feel like in a certain way we're helping her and all of her friends. Roger?
Yes. To all of that. Agree with what Aaron said. Obviously. It's the connection with showing Alice, who's our daughter, she's 7 years old now. But to kind of show her, especially, we got to show her the video of the 2018 athlete
of the year. Oh my gosh, her name is Bree, the runner.
And it was amazing.
It was like looking into the future at our daughter in like 11 years, because the personalities are so similar. And we've also thought she could be a long distance runner.
And just for her to see that, and we told her, like, well, you could do this in high school. Mm-hmm. She asked stuff like, could I do this? Like, you could do whatever you wanted to. You could join any club in high school. You could run in high school. You could wrestle in high school.
Yeah.
You could get 2 scholarships so mom and dad don't have to pay for college.
You get a tattoo.
That would be great.
You get a tattoo in high school. You get a tattoo in high school. But you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, awesome. There's speaking of Bree, there was a 50 game changers, and maybe if Chris, if you can send me the link that we can include in the show notes, but on specialchronicles.com. But there's a 50 game changers video. I don't know if you guys saw that ESPN did last year, beginning of last year, I think.
Yeah.
So
ESPN nationally did 50 game changers. And Bree was highlighted as one of them. I mean, on ESPN, it was amazing.
Yeah, that came out, I think, when we were in DC. So that was an amazing. And Bree is also an amazing single.
You know who I am.
Oh, I know who you are.
I am the Chief Marketing Officer of Illinois. More importantly, I'm a brother of an athlete, David, who passed away 21 years ago, and that's why I do what I do. And then father of a young athlete, Ryan, who's 5. He does not have an intellectual disability, but much like the 18,000 young athletes in Illinois, 12,000 of them do not have an intellectual disability. And he's learning at such a young age as my other son, Cassidy, did. there is no stigma. I kind of liken it to, everyone always looks to the dominant trait in a human being to describe them. They have blonde hair, or they're tall, or this. With our athletes, they just happen to be intellectually disabled. But the abilities part, whether you're blonde or tall or whatever, the people don't see the ability. And it's good to have my sons at such a young age seeing that and people and Special Olympics athletes. So
awesome.
Anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we had never written really anything together. We had each written plays and sketches and short stories and storytelling things and jokes and stuff separately.
Yeah, but never together. So it was funny. We sat down. We sat down actually to write together for the first time.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we sat down because we each have our own thing. What do we do? I pulled up a Google Doc.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is how I did it with a partner I used to work with. And I just started typing, and I was like, jump in and just write on top of what I'm writing. That's how I do it. And she was like, no.
This is not working for me. And so what we decided to do instead was to just, and then it actually ended up working really well, was we wrote some stuff separately, or we wrote parts of the same sketch separately, and then brought it together and then compared it and stuff. And that really worked.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe I'm more of a lone wolf writer and he's more of a collaborator.
Yeah, I think because we originally pitched the ideas to Chris and his team, and they said, like this, go with it, work on this. And what's the one thing we wrote together? I guess the weekend update. So the middle of it, there's the weekend update.
But still in pieces, still separately from each other. But it really, it was amazing at how it was fun. Like we don't really fight in general. But we didn't fight over anything. We really listened to each other. And even if we disagreed, we kind of sometimes he got his way and sometimes I got my way with how it should sound.
Yeah. There was definitely one that you wrote. I think it was probably
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Oh, I thought we could get an exclusive.
A sketch in the running order. And I definitely think I added 2 jokes, and she was like, no. No, that's mine. Take those out. I was like, but this would make it funnier. She was like, nope.
No. I was probably right.
That's where it was.
But it was really fun. And the nice thing was Special Olympics Illinois gave us really good parameters in the beginning, and then they also gave us good feedback in the middle and then towards the end. And that made it a lot easier. We didn't feel like we were as much writing into a void or like a black hole. We kind of felt like it was more structured, and I need that for my writing. And so that was really helpful for me.
Yeah.
So thank you all.
I would agree with Roger and Aaron. It's I feel the same way. What frustrates me the most is how can you be critical of another human being? Because that just makes you instantly hypocritical. You know what I mean? It's and I always feel like somebody may be the best macrame in the world, but they are the best, and they may have an intellectual disability. Somebody's really good at something. And to pick on other people about, their inabilities is just, to me, it's hypocritical because everyone's got them, everyone has something, and also everyone has ability. And, the way I look at it too is we talk about with Special Olympics and our relevancy, it's our athletes are, they meet at the intersection of, race, religion, sexual orientation, disability. Their Black Lives Matter. They are below the poverty line. They are in need of food. They are, disabled. They are all these other things. And I think also, Daniel, what I always think about, which always amazes me, is that, for somebody like myself, I've been bullied, but it's always been situational. I've never been bullied with frequency. And to watch that, with Special Olympics athletes, to go from the depths of bullying constantly to the heights of, what you've said, all we want to do is love those who hate. It's a gap that most people don't transcend, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's because you have an inclusionary mind, and it's kind of a no-brainer. It's like, shouldn't we all be inclusionary?
Yeah.
Not be kind of hypocritical, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's like, Alice, I haven't met her, but she's probably one of the kindest, sweetest people you probably ever meet. And
now she's trying to she really wants her own YouTube channel, and we have had to tell her several times no. So if she had her way, you would be watching her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
All for having Special Chronicles and working so hard to be so diligent and so focused and passionate and committed to raising your voice and raising awareness about the enormous talents and abilities of people with special needs like yourself, that really you're demonstrating time and time again that everybody who has a passion and a vision and a dream can fulfill those dreams and passions. So I think you're a great inspiration to me, to everybody at Best Buddies, to my family, and you're sort of the epitome of everything that we're working for, why we're here at Leadership Conference out in Bloomington, Indiana in 2017, why we have 2,500 kids here, why I work day in and day out and have my entire professional career, because of people like you. Yeah. Because I know that with support, encouragement, your dad helps, the Best Buddies, the Special Olympics, all the different entities that you're involved in, that you can achieve your goals and that you can really have an impact on the world through your work at Special Chronicles. And that's exactly what Best Buddies is about. Best Buddies is about creating mentoring opportunities for people with intellectual disabilities so that they can be successful, that they can fully achieve what they seek to achieve, to find employment opportunities for people like you so you can get good, solid paying jobs and live independently, and have the support that you need in order to be successful in the employment space. But today we really celebrate your success and the success of other people like you, but really what I'm excited about is the millions of people out there who have special needs and are special, like you and me, who can achieve anything. And that through the work of Best Buddies or the work of Special Olympics or so many of the other organizations that are out there, that will play a small, tiny little role in helping people like you and me and everybody listening, because everybody listening, everybody out there has special needs, that they'll have success and that they'll achieve their goals. That's what Best Buddies is about. How can we play a little role and helping someone get to where they dream to be? God gives everybody that gift, some gift, and it's your job to figure out what that gift is and then celebrate that gift. And then what we all realize what that gift is, where all of our lives are enriched by it, no matter what it is, whether it's swimming, whether it's having Special Chronicles, whether it's being a great interviewer like you, whether you are working with Facebook to have your voice heard, whatever that is, your contribution makes our world a better place. And I believe that, and that's what Best Buddies is about. How can we support people so they're fully integrated, feel included, that they count, they matter, because the world's a better place when they are engaged.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. I hope to be on again in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Congratulations.
I've been a journalist for a long time, starting out working on a newspaper. Now I'm using my talents online to bring joy, acceptance, and inclusion to people everywhere. Special Chronicles is a media platform that gives respect and a voice to people with special needs. I produce podcasts, columns, and news stories that reach over 40,000 views on a global online network. My passion is to tell special needs stories in a unique way, because as the founder and host, I have special needs myself. On Special Chronicles, I broadcast distinctive first-person accounts of people with special needs. Our global audience has the opportunity to meet real people, hear their voices, and understand what is important to people with special needs. One of my favorite news feeds that I've covered is the Play Unified movement. It was started by Special Olympics, and it means that people with disabilities and those without play on the same team. At Special Chronicles, our guests, on-air personalities, co-hosts, and volunteer producers come and play unified on-air. Some have special needs, some do not. but we are here working all together on the same team. Special Chronicles to help other young people discover their own unique talents. I hope that Special Chronicles will always be a part of my life. Let's change the game. Let's play and pray unified.
Topics that we should get involved in talking or listening to your ideas, or where do we go from here? So that's kind of my question. I don't know if Jose, you want to jump in on something on that, or Daniel, but I empower each of you out there listening with us today or anytime in between now and the end of the year to come back to us with your thoughts on this extremely important topic that's not only affected our lives this year, but will definitely be part of our lives next year.
Thank you. And this is number 400, right?
Yeah. So I've actually done more than 400 episodes, but like 400 since we branded to Special Chronicles, 400 with this name. Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
12 years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You're clearly off and running.
I know. Yeah. And back, if you look at pictures, I'm actually giving a keynote for the Elk of Illinois in a couple of days on November 17th, right after speaking on another webinar. Like two back-to-back things. Yeah. I had a lot more hair back then.
What I also
You've been really busy. Go ahead. Sorry, Adam, go ahead, please.
Yeah. We all had a lot more hair back then, but anyway, yeah. I remember, it's the 400 show. But when he was back in college at Roosevelt University, he was doing shows on the Roosevelt radio show. He had his own show there, and I remember when he started that, he had this really good idea. Exactly now, giving respect and voice to people with special needs, where he would interview various students or teachers and, to talk about that. And it was really successful, but at the beginning it was, it was Daniel would come home and says, we had a great day today. We had 12 people listen to us. And then come back the next day and say, well, it wasn't quite as good. We only had 5. And that was 12 years ago. And then Rob Johnson from CBS News had a show at that time of people you should meet or know in the Chicago area. And so he came and actually did a live segment, right, as Daniel was doing one of the shows.
When I graduated from, that was when Rob came actually on my last day, my last class. Yeah. They came to film.
Yeah, I remember because I went to see that, and it was just, I think Rob was very impressed with what Daniel was doing and the message he was trying to send. And that was 12 years ago. We average now, this year, we've averaged just a little bit over 40,000 viewers through all the different social medias per month now. So we've come a long way, but it's still a drop in the bucket to the millions of people that have disabilities in the world, and that this is we hope that in some way we're helping them. So we want to help more of them.
So to have you, Chris, introduce yourself, first, let's kind of, you heard right before we brought you on to the show that you are, I guess, now kind of part of the Special Chronicles team as my mentor. But first we thought we could, because like if you look on versus meet our team, we have like 8 people listed, and you're one of the faces that they see on this graphic, and whose bio and is on our team page. But first, we get your reaction to find out of being listed as part of the Special Chronicles team, and then you are also the Chief Marketing Officer of Special Olympics Illinois, and my mentor as an SSIGM. So maybe kind of get your reaction to that first, and then kind of go in, because being part of the athlete leadership is kind of how I if it wasn't for being involved as an athlete and then an athlete leader, I wouldn't be behind the microphone 12 years later.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I think it's Chief Marketing Officer, Special Olympics Illinois. I was kidding with somebody the other day because, Danny, you are now the second person in 4 years that's actually got my title correct. I usually get introduced as like Director of Marketing or the Marketing Manager. I, of course, don't say anything because, that would be pretty self-serving. But that's what I do for my day job. But more importantly, I'm your mentor, and as you and I was kid, I am your baggage handler. So that's what I do. I know that your interview with Tim Shriver, the 50th, because I think for about 2 years previous to that, I heard many times how Daniel was working hard to get that interview, and he finally got it. So not only a great content interview, but I know his persistence paid off. The other part would be doing the Abu Dhabi Daily Show. Every time I say that, I feel like Fred Flintstone, the Abu Dhabi Daily Show. But doing that and being your cameraman, but I know those were able to purpose those into Special Chronicles too, but interviewing Apollo, Anton Ono, and the different various athletes and running that, not only running that on Special Chronicles, but running it on the Special Olympics International side. And then third, I think, is more of a favorite memory of me because of who you are in the what you've built is just who you were. One of the things that Daniel did when he was at the World Games was he hosted a media reception towards the end of the second week, the last week, and he did a speech. So Donna Deverona, who probably Adam remembers and Mrs. Compton remembers, she was a major sportscaster for ABC Sports, Wide World of Sports. She's also she was an Olympic swimmer in the 60s too, but she gave an amazing speech. And then Daniel gave a speech as well. And, I just kind of hung back and, let the room kind of take over Daniel, and to watch media from all over the world engage in, shop talk with Daniel it's almost like when I saw that, I'm like, he has arrived. He is talking to media from all over the world, and they're coming up and just talking shop and talking journalism talk. And I thought that was a very heartfelt moment for me.
And laughter is Owen's one.
Okay, I'm learning.
I would come home from school in tears because I really, communication just wasn't my. It was really difficult, and once I began communicating with these people who offered their feedback and their own stories, I decided to record conversations with them as podcasts. I like the word conversations better than interviews because it sounds more engaging to me as a listener. I'm still in contact. I'm still today in contact with the airline pilot whose perspective on disability had changed. Some of these contacts feel like they knew me because of the live podcast, the daily podcast, probably one of the only daily podcasts on location in Los Angeles doing the Special Olympics World Games. I'd like to share with you a brief 1-minute video clip that talks about connections being made around the microphone. Connections is the key word there. Connections around the microphone. This is a excerpt. It's just a brief 1 to 2 minute video clip from a Special Chronicles vlog that I produced live from Los Angeles. So in addition to the daily audio podcast, I produced a vlog that's on the Special Chronicles YouTube channel. It's still up there. It's a playlist on the channel, and we talked. It's titled Sharing the Joy and Cookies with Generation Unified. And you understand why I said sharing the joy and cookies, because there's a fun little comedic bit that we did in this video. So with that, we'll share with you a brief video clip from this vlog in Los Angeles.
Genuine Youth Summit. It's basically 150 plus youth leaders from around the world coming together to share how they are, how they want to change their community. And it's actually really awesome. Homeboy left his cookie here.
Oh, somebody just lost their cookie.
Sorry, thank you.
That's okay. You lost your cookie anyway, pal. Snooze you lose. I think that was covered in one of those summits today. Don't leave your food next to your interviewee.
That's one of the things we tell people.
Yeah.
Don't leave your food next to anybody, especially me.
Especially if you're interviewing them.
Yeah, exactly.
But that fits perfectly how in Special Olympics we share our joy.
My joy is cookies, so you just share.
There you go.
You share our joy.
But it's true.
But no, but
it is a family unit.
True.
For never being involved in Special Olympics before, and I've only been here for 2 days, I've already met so many amazing people. I've already made so many great connections that it is something that I'm definitely going to look into when I get
for the health of everybody, and how we need to cultivate more compassion in our lives, both in society and our economy and our daily life. And that's kind of, they're comparing it versus, let's say, the economy, for example. They're comparing it to our current economy, which is very focused on growth at all costs, and how that affects people's lives, the healthcare system, our society. And we're saying maybe we need to rethink that and cultivate compassion in our economy and in our society. And that's one of the things that struck me very strongly, because I believe in that. And going forward in the future, we have to build our society, our economy, our politics, and everything else in the world should be based on principles of belonging, that when we face crises, we can better equip and handle them together. And, that's what she said. And I truly believe in that. And I know that at Special Chronicles, we've always talked about respect and voice to people with all abilities. And I think what she is saying is something that it's not just for somebody with a specific ability, but it's for everybody in the world. Yeah. And I think we need to start thinking that way. I have good friends on various parts of the world, from Europe to Asia countries to the United States and North and South America. Mm-hmm. And I try to stay in touch with them during times like this. So we communicate and we keep great social distance, since all these friends are thousands of miles away, but with technology and we can do that and have some good conversations on that. But it all leads to what I just talked about. And I think when I look at compassion, and to me, it incorporates several things. And, to have a kinder understanding and respect for people. It starts with compassion, unconditional love, respect, joy, acceptance, inclusion of all people of all abilities in every part of the world. And I think that that voice and that respect and that caring understanding has to start with each of us today. Because otherwise, I'm not sure if just getting through the virus is enough. And so we from Special Chronicles, and I know Daniel and myself, just say thank you.
Also, this episode is brought to you by listeners like you, journalist listeners like you. You can join our supporters and donate today at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And this episode is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Keep the lights on, keep this technology plugged in so you can hear this powerful, informative, entertaining, inspiring content. We thank ComEd for the journalist support of Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And any thoughts you want to say about sponsors or supporters?
Oh no, we yes. I can't begin enough to thank everybody who's supported us through the times when we've been growing over the last 11 years to the current times of very complex situations that we're at. We appreciate all the support and the love that we get from everybody, and we respect you for that. And hopefully they'll continue forever. And we'll love to have everybody's support moving forward, and we'll all get through this together and keep recording more and more of things that are important to everybody. Thank you.
This is Brianna Alyssa, and you're listening to Special Chronicles. Every free chance I have, I tune into Special Chronicles podcasts at specialchronicles.com.
Special Chronicles podcast. I pulled up this article, and it's the title is Westmont Man Overcomes Special Needs Label to Excel in Life. And this article is, it is a full-blown advertisement on the front page of this newspaper for the Special Chronicles podcast. That is awesome. Congratulations to you,
Hi, my name
Daniel.
is Sydney. I volunteer with Special Olympics and Best Buddies in Nova Scotia, Canada. And you're listening to Special Chronicles with PodmanDan.
Good friend of mine, a fellow podcaster, Daniel Smrokowski. He does a podcast called Special Chronicles. Daniel suffers from a disability, a speech disability, and he is heavily involved in the Special Olympics, hence the name Special Chronicles podcast. And he's one of the ambassadors for the Illinois Special Olympics. He's a participant in the Special Olympics, and he goes out there speaking about it and talking about disabilities and such. Great podcast. You should check it out. Again, that's specialchronicles.com. Dan is doing something new in January. I'm not sure what it is. He's going to partner with somebody or affiliate with somebody. I'm not sure. He hasn't told me. But something is new. Something new is coming up in Dan's podcast.
Howdy, y'all. This is Jake calling in from Houston, Texas, and you're listening to Special Chronicles podcast hosted by 2012 Roosevelt University graduate PodmanDan.
Hi, my name's Katie. You're listening to the Special Chronicles podcast with Daniel.
I want to congratulate our friend Daniel Smrokowski, who is the host of the Special Chronicles podcast, who's a really all-around great guy and will be receiving an award this week from his university, a social justice award for his efforts on behalf of those with disabilities. And way to go, Daniel. You're awesome.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. This is Rob Johnson with CBS2 Chicago, and you are listening to Special Chronicles with Dan Smrokowski.
My pick of the week is Daniel Smrokowski, PodmanDan. Everybody knows him as he started, first of all, he started the Special Chronicles podcast some time ago. In fact, he just celebrated his 100th episode anniversary, I think 5 years.
Dan.
Yeah, great effort on his part. And he actually incorporated Special Chronicles as a not-for-profit corporation not too long ago. So our prayers go out, and monetary contributions, if you can afford it, to Dan and his not-for-profit corporate empire, Special Chronicles. But the reason why I mention that, not only because he just celebrated his 100th episode. Have a great weekend. God bless Daniel Smrokowski, founder and podcast journalist, executive director, Special Chronicles, not-for-profit new media company. And again,
so awesome.
And he had some really powerful guests on his 100th episode. Tim Shriver, I think grandson of Mrs.
Sergeant Shriver.
Yeah, Sergeant Shriver that started the Special Olympics, right?
Yep.
So cool.
Yeah. So Dan's really going places with his effort. So thank you. My pick of the week is Dan Smrokowski and Special Chronicles. Okay.
So awesome. You win Best Pick of the Week.
Well, I don't know.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Johnson from CBS2 Chicago.
I honestly,
you don't get this on just any podcast.
No, you don't. You're listening to the Special Chronicles show. I think we're live. I think we're doing this live. So I think we're live. This is Daniel's Rockin New Year's Eve greatest hits, best of 2020 live 2-hour live show as we welcome in 2021, and we are back. We're trying to get things adjusted in the studio. When we do that, we're going to take a short sponsor message break. When we come back, if you can hear me, we will feature our live 2020 retrospective favorite memories and look ahead to our resolutions of opportunities in the new year 2021. All that is coming back right after the break, right here on SpecialChronicles.com. I'm Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and Southern Survival International Global Messenger with Special Olympics.
Hey, and I'm,
I should unmute you.
I'm Adam, also part of Special Chronicles, board member, and just a huge supporter of everything that Daniel and Special Chronicles is doing.
So we will be right back. Don't hit pause. Don't hit pause. Don't hit pause. We'll be right back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. New Year's Eve, live 2020 retrospective and favorite memories and resolutions of opportunities. All that is coming up right after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives. We're back. You're listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is Daniel's Rockin New Year's Eve, Greatest Hits Best Stuff 2020. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Tribal International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. And I'm joined with...
Hi, I'm Adam, Daniel's dad, and also a board member of Special Chronicles.
And we are excited to be here. This is the second hour. This is the second hour of Daniel's Rockin' New Year's Eve. Coming up in the second hour, we'll feature our live 2020 retrospective, talking about our team's favorite memories of Special Chronicles from the past for the past year of 2020. And then coming up in the final half hour, we will be talking all about our resolutions of opportunities in the new year of 2021. But first, why don't we go ahead and I made a few notes. Let me grab my other notes here. And apparently you don't have any notes down. No?
It's all in my head.
It's all in your... What does that even mean? What is it? So, folks, we're going to... basically, for this whole second hour, we're going to throw it on that fourth wall and just have kind of a behind-the-scenes conversation. Just improv, behind-the-scenes conversation first about our favorite memories from the past year. So, see, usually you have notes. Like when we did that living room show, you had notes. But now, apparently, because it's the end of the year and because 2020 is the year that was 2020, apparently now I'm the only one. I'm the only one in the studio that has notes. I mean, yeah. So we'll face each other.
I think it's, it's... I am very well organized, and I do have a lot of notes. I just didn't bring him on the show because it was, Daniel had, a whole 3-ring binder of notes. I thought that was enough.
Don't have a 3-ring binder. I've got 5 pages of notes for this episode.
But part of it, what I wanted to do, what I thought was important is the end of the year. We want to celebrate all the wonderful things we've done, despite the fact that it was a challenging year, especially with the virus that sort of changed the lives of everybody around the world, not just in the United States. Mm-hmm. And it affected the health of a lot of people. It affected our economy of so many people. Are struggling and financially and emotionally, and it's just a difficult time. So I felt like it's time just to close the year off and be optimistic towards all the wonderful things that are going to happen next year. We've had despite all the challenges, we've had actually a very good year because we had a chance to interview a lot of people. A lot of times we're on the road doing a whole variety of different events and
live audience shows.
Just a whole variety of events. And now we've actually spent more time in the studio. So I think we've done,
But we've been,
more things in the studio.
But with that, we've actually been, like, when we've been podcasting and broadcasting for the past 12 years,
right?
We're used to this. We're used to broadcasting, podcasting at home.
I think what we're used to is our whole mission is to to overcome some challenges in the world, and that's people with special needs is to try to hear their voices. And so hopefully they can get a little respect and understanding. And so we always deal with challenging things. And so this year just added a few more challenges, like the virus and the economy and things that have affected people personally. But our whole mission is to try to make things a little bit better and to hear what people have to say, how they're dealing with things in life. So I think that throughout the year, just that kind of expanded because people were talking about not only the special needs challenges that they might have, but also how they're dealing with life. Whether it's staying home more or figuring out how to exercise. With Special Olympics, especially, a lot of that's geared around sports that are outside, and that's been curtailed right now. So we're addressing a lot of things around that, and so we've had a very busy year, and we're optimistic. We're happy that this year is over. We think we've done some good things. We helped a lot of people, and we're looking forward next year to continuing doing that, and hopefully getting the world past some of these challenges into some form of normality, whatever that might be. And I truly believe, and I was just talking to somebody earlier, a good friend, about that maybe going forward would actually learn some good things on how to share and how to think about other people and help other people. So maybe going forward, the world can, people can incorporate some of that into their normal part of their everyday life, and that's actually really good. So going back to why don't I have notes? It's because Daniel was teasing me about that. It's because we want to celebrate everything we've done this year and be excited about where we're going forward.
Sure. Okay. Well, with that, I want to let's kind of jump back a little bit in the first our listeners, and this is actually your first time hearing that greatest hits, that best of 2020 clips that we played, and there was some fascinating clips there. And I'm not just saying that as the host, as the executive producer. I mean, as the host, I'm not just saying that, but there really was some, I think, some powerful clips, some entertaining clips, a lot of engaging clips that I think if this is your first time hearing a lot of those shows, it will hopefully entice a lot of you listeners to go back in the archives and listen to those. We're going to put links to all these episodes in the show notes. If you go on to specialchronicles.com and find episode 406, then you can, we're going to put links to all the 4 episodes, to all those clips that you heard. But with that, with that, I thought, did you want this, maybe share some brief comments coming out of that highlight reel that we just played, that best of highlight reel.
Yeah, as I was listening to the last 50 minutes of this kind of what I call a collage of various podcasts or events or interviews that we've done was really neat. I've heard all of them throughout the year, but I thought the most interesting part is that we're not only talking with people who have a disability and how their lives are affected. We're also talking to a whole variety of people, from the president of North America, Special Olympics, to people that have children that have some type of disability, to people that have either run companies that help people with disabilities or have started them, to so many different people, powerful people, and they're very successful in their lives. And listening to what got them motivated to be part of Special Chronicles, or what got them involved in Special Olympics, or what got them involved into helping somebody with a disability or a specific special needs, and just a whole variety of stories. And it usually had the common denominator that I found. It usually was some event in their lives that had brought them into this world. And all of a sudden they felt like, well, I can make a difference too. And they have. And so a lot of the stories on that collage that Daniel put together were just that. People kind of talking about, what got them motivated to help people with special needs. And I thought that was just really awesome.
Yeah. And some of those episodes, you asked me to write, whoa, that mic flew up though. You never know what's happening when we go live. But you asked me to write down some of those episodes that I put down in the show notes. I was going to give this to you, those episodes to, but apparently you don't want to look at those. So we will, actually, it also helps me because I have a hard time reading my handwriting. So
that's another one of Daniel's challenges, or I call disability, is his penmanship is so great that he can't even read it. So, it's a good thing that he uses technology, computers, iPads.
I mean, I always have in school, because that's kind of just this, because that's in us. I've used it more as an assistive technology that assists me in order to process and to understand what I'm learning. But with that,
I think
we're getting off topic.
Daniel's, that's all right. The idea is to have an open exchange ideas
of the favorite, but I want to kind of get back on topic on some of those favorite some of those episodes, and just do a couple additional ones that you didn't hear, but first do a couple of those that you heard. One of them we did, and I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up on the iPad here. Episode 360 was a two-part podcast we did called Achieving Independence, and that was, we actually recorded that right when I got this new Rodecaster Pro, but we recorded it live from the Helping Hand Center in Countryside, Illinois, with the CEO of the Helping Hand Center, Bill Dryo. And that was a two-part podcast because the conversation was just so powerful. I don't think we recorded video on that. I think it's just audio only. But Bill Dryo, we'll definitely have to have him on the show again, because do you remember some of those clips that?
Yeah,
because it was so engaging and he said some powerful things, and that was right before they announced of changing their mission, their mission statement to be more inclusive. That aired back in March 2020, but that, like, what Bill was saying about how, and I'm blanking on exactly what he said, but just go back to episode 360 and listen to that. A couple other brief highlights that I want to mention is Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. That is a living room show that we did, 368, episode 368, which we actually brought this into the living room, which I feel like we could have done that today, but notice that we want to stay in the studio as much as we can. I mean, we actually, after the show, we're going to have to take a picture of the setup, because you guys, I don't know if for those listening to the podcast, go check out the video on YouTube, and you can and see this, because we have two different camera angles. One is from the phone, and it's neat how we were able to do this, right?
Yeah, I think for those of you who have never seen a studio, you don't realize what you see. Like right now, you're looking at Daniel and myself, and you can see our mics and our headsets, which is nice. But that's probably like an iceberg. That's 10% of what is really behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We got, I'm sitting in a chair, but below me is like, a million miles of wires and cables. And then we have lighting systems all over the place, computers and 3 different desks. And I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
All the technology and the equipment needed to just do a little simple show like this.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Daniel knows how to, figure it out over the years. He's figured out what he needs, and we've grown in that part. But it's amazing how much stuff is behind the scene that needs to happen to do one of these shows.
Getting back on the topic to these favorite memories, that compassion in the time of social distancing, that aired back in March 2020. Right, I think we recorded that kind of right around the time when this global pandemic had started, and we had read an article on, I think, Medium.com. And I'm blanking on it, but you guys can go back and listen. And we use this article as a jumping off point for a conversation to talk about having more compassion in this time of social distancing, in this global pandemic that we are all still living in. And we recorded that right at the beginning of that. And that was in a, I think it was I think a 1 hour episode, but that was I thought was, between you and me, both of us, was a pretty powerful episode that people can go back and, once again, that's episode 368, Compassion in the Time of Social Distancing. A couple other, want to kind of briefly.
Well, let me just elaborate on that. Compassion, I mean, we're doing, obviously our whole mission is to give respect and voice to people with special needs, and we let people with challenges or disabilities or whatever they have come in and tell their story. So this is kind of different because we're really just kind of reminiscent about all of those things that we did do
this past year,
which is kind of neat. But when I look at what has happened this year in the world, I realize that, our mission is all based on compassion and understanding. But it's what has happened this world has reinforced in my mind that it's compassion and understanding and respect and all of that is a lot more than just somebody with a disability. It's the entire world. And it's every one of us in every one of our situations, whether you're affected by the virus or a family or friend is affected by it, or whether you're affected by the economy or not, where in the world you are, what your beliefs are and what your faith is, it doesn't matter. Compassion is, something that we really need to make part of our lives. And I think that would make the world stronger and make each of us better. And maybe some of the challenges that we had this year will help us, think about how to be more compassionate. And, if a few more people in the world start thinking that way, then maybe there's some value in everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so moving on to a few more favorite memories, and then maybe we'll get to some of your favorite memories of some of the podcasts that we have produced this past year of 2020, which is a lot, because when you produce a lot of weekly shows, there's a lot of content that we have produced in just 2020, let alone the past 12 years. But we're really looking back at just the past year of 2020. Even though in that highlight reel, I think we did get at the end a few other clips from some past years, but kind of threw some other clips in there just for the fun of it. But episode 398 and 399. No, episode 393, 393 and 398 were two of our most downloaded, most watched episodes. Episode 398 was our On the Job with Jonna and Steve from United Airlines. That was part 7 of our new original series, Unified at Work. Steve is my direct manager at United Airlines, and then Jana is his boss. So Jana is the managing director of customer service, and that was one of that was like, I think, a 50-minute episode conversation, but that was, we recorded that in person with masks. We hand sanitized the microphones. We did it safely. But that was, again, one of the most watched, most downloaded episodes, episode 393 with John and Steve. Did you want to comment on that? And then I'll get to what the other most watched episode was.
Yeah, I think it's
the episode with John and Steve.
Yeah, I think it's really, I'm just so impressed with United Airlines and their commitment to doing the right thing in the world. And that led to their commitment to helping Special Olympics and their commitment to helping people with disabilities and integrating them into their family. And what I've learned, and I had a chance to, be part of Daniel's support team going into United, and it's just, it really was very impressive that they not only talk about the things that are need to be done in the world, like inclusion of people with special needs, but they actually sit down and figure out how to make it work. And they believe in it. They have a passion. And I know at one of the events, I talked to one of the senior vice presidents, who I believe was just promoted to being president of United Airlines. And
Scott
I
Colby? You talking to Scott?
No, Scott. To
Brett.
Yeah.
Brett. He's now the president of United Airlines.
Yeah. So I remember, and I asked them at the event, we're just kind of casually standing around waiting for the next part to happen, and I said, well, this is really impressive what you're doing. Is this kind of a short-term initiative? And he really was just so adamant, responded immediately, how, no, this is not an initiative. This is a new way of life for United. And we're completely committed to including people with special needs into our family. And since then, that was a year ago, and since then, without a doubt, they have proven what they said. And and it's not just the people. Yeah, they're not making an exception for people with disabilities to include them. They're actually including them into the United family. They treat all their employees like a big family. I know that right now there's really a challenging time for the airline industry because of the virus and the challenges of travel and that, but they still, treat people like one big family. So when they incorporated 4 athletes from Special Olympics to be part of their truly inclusive family, it wasn't an exception. It was just part of their family. And everybody you talk to United, when whoever you meet, whether you meet them for the first time, within seconds, they're just happy, they're excited, they're willing to help you on anything and everything. They include everybody, and it's really nice to see. And I look forward. I think that United is a good role model for every large corporation. Well, actually, large, medium, small corporation, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they're truly a role model of including everybody into their family. And so that was, that was a really neat part of that episode. And it was, we had a lot of listeners, and so we averaged this year, a little bit over 40,000, and that's because of some of these, really
socially distant live audience podcasts.
But some of these specific shows that
series. Like this new one, Unified at Work,
that we put together. I think last year we're averaging probably 28,000. So we jumped quite a bit because some of these shows, I mean, we have between all the social medias, a couple of these shows this year jumped to like 59,000 viewers. So our message is obviously important and people want to hear it. And they don't always want to hear just Daniel and I talking, but when we're, talking about, when we're letting somebody with a disability tell their story in their own words, or some of the senior executives at United talk about what they're doing and why they're doing it. People want to hear that, and so that's what we're bringing to the to the things that we do, and that's what. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But that's also what excites us about next year, because we've learned so much this year on some of the examples I just talked about, and we want to do more of that. So we're excited about that. There's just so much more that needs to be done, so much more that Special Chronicles can be kind of the nucleus arm between bringing a lot of these things that are happening out in the world, maybe talking about them or bringing them together to let more people know about it.
And I've talked about this, Special Chronicles, we have now expanded into a podcast network, but what originally 12 years ago started as one podcast of just me sharing my story with special needs and growing up. I mean, still having challenges today, but then has developed into talking with other people. And like what you just went into.
I think, let me just jump into one more thing there. I think that our story of 12 years at Special Chronicles, and we're still at our infancy. I mean, there's challenges trying to do what we do.
There's still more impact that we can make.
We're at the beginning, and like we talked about, everybody's support financially to be able to do this. That's kind of the biggest challenge, because we're trying to do some good out here, but we don't have a physical product. It's not like we make coffee and sell you coffee. What we do is we try to put together people that are doing good things, people that have challenges, to be able to talk about that. And so when I look at the last 12 years, it's, you see, and I had a mentor that told me once, well, everything in life, you start with baby steps. No matter what you're going to do, you start with baby steps. And it goes to how you're born. I remember, Daniel is one of 3 kids. I have Daniel has 2 sisters and himself. And then when they were born, it was all baby steps. They didn't know how to walk when they were born. They didn't even know how to crawl. And so they, at some point, started crawling, and at some point took their first step, fell down, and then all of a sudden they're growing. And so Special Chronicles, or any good idea, starts off that way with the baby steps. I'm sure that even United, in their process of trying to include people with special needs, and the program that they have now that's been around for just a little bit over a year, is it started with a baby step, an idea. I'm sure somebody within United, or more than one person, had an idea, says, well, we need to figure out how to include people. So that was their baby step. And then I'm sure they've known big corporations, they went through a whole series of discussions and some strategy planning, and it took a little while to implement how they're going to actually do that, and they did. And it's just, after a year, it's just remarkable how well it's working. But every good thing starts off of baby step. And so we're still at our baby step parts after 12 years. Just our steps are a little bit bigger. But we have a lot more steps to take.
Well,
and we're excited about it.
Well, let's move on and continue talking about our favorite memories of this past year, of the year that was 2020. Another clip that you heard in that highlight reel in the first hour of this episode 406 of the Special Chronicles show was a clip of from a bonus episode from our Unified at Work original series from episode 398, and that was our on-the-job coffee latte talk with Susie Cobble. Susie is the managing director of global community engagement at United Airlines. Susie is awesome, but we had she kind of switched the tables and switched the microphones, and we had a coffee talk bonus episode where she actually interviewed me, and there was some entertaining moments, some powerful moments. Do you remember that episode? Remember those clips that we played from that bonus coffee talk episode with Susie Cobble?
Well, again, this is where I didn't bring my notes. I should have.
Yeah,
but
it pays to have your notes, folks. Let the record be shown. Let the record be shown. See the note. Well, podcast listeners can't see. I've got notes in front of me. I've got notes on the iPad.
Well, what I want to say about Susie is I remember talking to her at one of the events that Special Olympics had.
Open house of the new Chicago office.
Right. And she was there. The Chicago office of Special Olympics is actually just down the block only a few blocks away from United Airlines world headquarters. So in talking with her again, it was just a wonderful conversation. And what showed in her is what I noticed. It was so obvious is the passion that she had. And when she talked about the program at the Special Olympics, she had a passion about that. And we talked about what Daniel's doing with Special Chronicles, and she had a passion about it. It was really kind of a neat experience. She talks with her heart, and she's a very intelligent woman. So what she says is also backed up by reality, and but she takes her intelligence and she talks with her heart, and that made. It's really impressive, actually.
Yeah.
And she has this, we take no prisoner attitude. If it's a good idea, we're going to get it done. And challenges don't stop her. And so that was, to this day, and that was last January. That was right before.
About a year ago.
Yeah, that was about a month before this virus took over.
2 months before it started.
Yeah. And, so I just remember those conversations with her, and it's just I love when I see people have a passion into something that's worthwhile, and then figure out how to get things done. And that's what led to the show that she had, the interview with Daniel, and along with some of the other things that she does to support Special Chronicles, to support Special Olympics, to support everybody with a special need.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge impact that I have, about Susie.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And then there was episode 399, which was all about taking people behind the scenes of Saturday Night In. The Special Olympics Illinois Gala goes virtual. Our guests were Wadjo and Aaron Payton, a husband and wife. They are two comedy writers. And this episode also featured Chris Winston, my Munto, my SSIGM Munto, or bag handler, as Chris says. And that episode aired in November of 2020. Just for the sake of time, any brief comments on that memory episode?
Well, again, I think it's the people. What impresses me more is the people talking about the specific topic that we're discussing, because even the best of topics, if it's not, conveyed with passion, then it's doesn't have the same powerful, doesn't have the same power and the force behind it. So, like in that episode is the people again. I know Chris Winston is, since I've gotten to know him because of Daniel, is just a really passionate, impressive, caring person. And I know that when being Daniel's mentor as a international global messenger, when when he travels, one of his assignments is just to make sure Daniel's safe. And I have, as a dad, I have like 100% trust in him, 100% plus trust in him. I know he watches over Daniel when he's traveling, they're going out of the country, and he watches over him just same as I would. And I really respect that in Chris, and I respect that in everybody that we interview and we talk. It's just a one. It's beyond my words to say how much I appreciate and respect people that truly care.
Yeah, well, awesome. And a few other favorite memories, clips, and we'll get to maybe some brief of yours, if you will. You didn't write anything down, but just off the top of your head, from this past year, 2020, episode 400, which actually kicked off this Special Chronicles 12 celebration series. This is this today, December 31st, 2020, is the series finale. But if you think back to this trilogy, and if you go on specialchronicles.com, you can /EON given, you can on that page you can actually listen or watch. We've got a playlist where you can listen or watch. Go back to that episode 400 where we celebrated 12 years of podcasting, and that aired on our anniversary date, November 15th, 2020. Brief comments on that, because we hold some clips from that in the highlight reel.
Yeah, I think that the neat part is a lot of the shows that Daniel does are very organized. We have Daniel puts together his notes, the people that are going to be speaking. Daniel sends out a whole all the notes related to the show, the different topics that they're going to talk about. So it may look all simple and natural, but there's just a lot
of work that goes.
A lot of work, a lot of preparation to make it look natural. And that's also been my experience in life. What looks really simple, the simpler things look in life, the easier, the more background preparation had to go there to make it look that way. And so on our 12-year, the 400 show, the 12-year celebration, we're still organized. Daniel's extremely organized, but we did something a little different. We just kind of invited people to sit in and
people from our team.
Yeah, not only from our team, but just we had, I don't forget how many people.
You, me, Jose, Georgia, Chris, Diane, and Compton, and Odato Allen, I think was.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the point is that we all kind of sat around like we're going to be sitting around and
a virtual table.
Like
virtual table,
like we would have if we were sitting around our living room. Except this year we had to use
StreamYard.
Okay, something like Zoom. But we basically everybody's pictures are out there, so we really were sitting around in our own living room, but together we could all see each other and just exchange ideas.
Living room? This is a studio. What are you talking about?
Well, but people were sitting in their living room or wherever they wanted to be in their home.
True. Chris was driving. Chris was in the call.
Or was he? Okay. But the point that I'm trying to make, it was just a free flow of exchange of ideas of some of the things that everybody's experienced with Special Chronicles, especially over the last year. Maybe how they got involved, or some key thing that they felt was something they wanted to share. And so it was fundamentally structured, but the topics really weren't. They were more of a free flow of a group of really good people getting together and just exchanging ideas. And I like that. I think that was a good way to do a 12-year celebration. When we did our 10-year celebration, it was more of a formal gala. We had a banquet and meal, and we had speakers, and it was very well structured. Turned out perfect.
Yeah,
for the 12 years, especially since we couldn't get together, it was like I still think about that, and it was just a really nice time. And I love the free flow ideas that people had to share.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest impact of that show, which is kind of what we're doing right now, except it's just decided at the end of the year would be just Daniel and I kind of changing some of these ideas.
Yeah, we were debating, should we call some other people from our team, like our producer and board member Darian or Diane or Georgia or Chris or just any random listener. But we were like, that was a little too much work. We kind of already put in a lot of work to that. So I'm like, let's just keep it simple. Just to have it be the two of us.
Well, I'm going to add something to it that just goes, for every good idea that we have, probably a whole handful of not so good ideas.
I mean, I have a lot of awesome ideas, but.
Yeah, well. Awesome and realistic. That's the thing is, to give you an example, when we were planning the 12-year, we initially came up with an idea. I got really excited about having a 24-hour telethon.
We
invite people from, it was just, and it's actually, I still think it's a wonderful idea.
Totally.
Yeah, but then when I started thinking about the reality of trying to put together something, I mean, we're not this huge, big corporation with a lot of staff behind us. You're basically, it's a handful of people that, are given their time and to try to make a difference in so many people, in the lives of so many people, and hopefully in the world. So when I started jotting down notes, well, what has to happen behind the scenes to do a 24-hour telethon? I said, well, we're completely insane. There's no way in the world that we can put this, even though we thought about it like 2 months before all of this. So we would have had plenty of time to do it, but it was just complete insanity.
Yeah.
So we finally,
maybe in the future.
I don't know if we ever want to do that in the future. But
then we dropped it down to 12 hours.
And we did. I talked to Daniel, so he brought it down. Let's do a 12-hour telethon. I said, well, that's still insane.
It's still insane.
Do a 12-hour telethon or a 24-hour telethon. Really, either one. It's just is the amount of work behind it. I don't think we would have had. Just not enough hours in the day to be able to do that. So we finally broke down and said, well, let's throw that out the window. And so what we decided was just 3 different shows from the start of our anniversary in November. We had one there, one in
2 hours in
the beginning of December, one at the end, and just a couple of hours each of exchanging ideas, talking a little bit about some of the things that we accomplished, some of the shows, and letting some people that were involved just share their ideas, and then close off the year with just the two of us. And I think that's a lot. This is where sometimes we got to get past our wild good ideas to reality. And so this is reality.
And the second one was a Home for the Holidays, our Christmas themed episode, which we had like a few different guests kind of all calling in. But yeah, let's move quickly on because we're almost out of time. I want to also mention that conversation I had with Matthew West. Matthew is a singer-songwriter. He's a Christian singer-songwriter. Grew up in Downers Grove, Illinois, and so we both kind of grew up somewhat in the same area. But Matthew, hopefully, I'll get to meet up with him at a concert when it's safe to do so. But that was Matthew just launched a new podcast, and so we talked about that, his Rockin' Miracle song, and did you want to briefly comment on that with Matthew West?
No, I mean, I've heard some of his music. He's just a wonderful musician, and so I'm so glad that he's able to come and be a part of Special Chronicles. It's always good to hear, to talk to people and hear about what they're doing to help the world. Make it a little better place.
Yeah, and another favorite and probably one of our most popular episodes this year was my second conversation. This was in Owl. The first one happened in Abu Dhabi, but the second one with 8-time Olympic medalist and Special Olympics global ambassador Apollo Ono. That
was. I mean, I remember back when
you were speechless. Apparently,
no, I just waiting you to pause.
It was called dramatic effect.
Yeah, back when last year when Daniel went to Abu Dhabi as a spokesperson of Special Olympics International and
Global Messenger International, Southern Travel International Global Messenger.
And I remember he had a chance to meet
Apollo.
Meet Apollo because Apollo is a
global
ambassador for Special Olympics International, and so he had a chance to meet him, and they did a few things together, some speeches and events and things like that, and Daniel, I remember texted his sisters and myself about that he met Apollo and he was doing some things with him, and he, even during a break they had a chance where Apollo was teaching Daniel how to roller skate and on a ring, and that was really cool. So he sent those pictures to us, and I remember his sisters were just besides themselves that because they think Apollo's kind of a cool athlete and a person, and so they were just, I think, a little shocked that they weren't allowed to be there with Daniel. And since then, Daniel and Apollo have maintained contact and developed a friendship, and Apollo was even on a show that Daniel did,
the Abu Dhabi Daily Show, but recently, that was in 2019 on specialolympics.org.
Yeah,
but recently,
right.
The end of August 20, I think that I don't have that in front of me. The end of August 2020, I believe. If you go in on Apple Podcasts, whatever, search for Special Olympics USA, Daniel SSIGM Journal, just go to specialchronicles.com and search for Apollo Ono. You will find that conversation. He had some powerful thing to say, and it's always a lot of fun to talk with my good buddy Apollo Ono.
Yeah, and I think Daniel goes, with being a spokesperson, Special Olympics International. It's always neat. He meets some really good quality people that are successful, very successful in their own specific aspect of life, and they share their time. And Daniel has a opportunity to get to know them, and he interviews a lot of them on Special Chronicles, which is neat. But I'll close off with one of the things that I thought was really cool about Apollo is that just recently Daniel told me that the next Winter Games are going to be in Russia for Special Olympics International. And so Daniel's going to be there as a spokesperson, and Apollo's going to be there as a spokesperson. And Daniel told me, so I guess Apollo and Daniel were talking, and he was going to, he told Daniel he was going to teach him how to ice skate when we're there in Russia. Now, I remind you, Apollo is one of the, probably has more gold medals in international speed skating than anybody else in the world. And so he's going to teach Daniel how to ice skate. It's just, it's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Well, briefly, we're going to move on because we all went a little bit behind schedule. But I think you said the last 2 hour live show we did, we're not wanting to be behind schedule. We're running right on time. So that I'm going to just go with that. Well, a lot of our listeners are leaving some comments, some a lot of comments. I don't know if you guys see those comments.
I see the comments coming through, but my screen's really small, so I can't quite. I'm going to read them all later.
Yeah. you guys keep. If you guys are listening to the podcast,
keep sending the comments.
If you guys
appreciate.
If you guys are listening to the podcast on demand later, because later we're going to upload this and it'll be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and SpecialChronicles.com. But go to the video on YouTube or Facebook and leave your comments there as well. You can do that. But briefly, I want to mention, in addition to that Unified at Work podcast original series, which is one of our newest original series we produced this year in 2020, another new series we started when the global pandemic started in March was a Special Olympics health series. This is 9 episodes, 3 hours, 1 podcast of inclusive health conversations. We did about 6 episodes with the Director of Health Services, Carolyn at Special Olympics Illinois, and then 3 episodes with myself, Winnie, Hannah, and the Chief Health Officer at SOI, Dr. Lisa Bassano. And so you can just go and go on to specialchronicles.com/health and listen and subscribe to that series, because it's 9 eposodes, 3 hours, 1 podcast that has inclusive health conversations. Really, 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 really powerful.
I think that's part of this virus and how life has changed back starting in March. It made you think about all these other things that are important. And as I mentioned earlier, Special Olympic athletes especially are all geared towards participating in sports, most of them outside or in groups.
Oh, indoor.
Indoor, outdoor, but in groups. And all the Special Olympics athletes I know is not only when they compete, but they spend a lot of time practicing. It's like any good sport, for every hour that you compete, you spend countless hours in practicing. And so all of that kind of had to stop because nobody could get together in groups to practice or to compete. So out of that came out, says, well, we're not just going to stop. So how do we, get people to think about exercising at home and how to get some health into the things that we're doing, whether it's exercise or eating better or even taking a short walk, so these health series started evolving around what's happening in the world because of what's happening in the world. And, that's really neat.
We're going to bypass our second break because we are running close to the 2-hour mark. And so we're going to have this final segment be somewhat quick. We'll see. We are running a little over time. But anyways, there is a comment that a comment / I think it's a comment / question from one of our live listeners that kind of ties in with our next segment. So we're going to move on, and as we look ahead to our resolutions of opportunities is what we're calling it. Resolutions of opportunities in the year 2020. And Witty, this is the kind of behind the scenes conversation. We'll let it down the fourth wall. Pretend the microphone is not in front of your face. Pretend we don't have this light. Pretend we don't have all this. We're not in the studio. Pretend we're just sitting in our living room, having a behind-the-scenes conversation about 2021. What some resolutions of opportunities that we hope to have in 2021. I want to briefly mention a comment that I'm going to put up on the screen right now. One of our listeners, Carol, says, I wish you could interview J.L. Martinez. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, she?
I don't know.
Lady, this person is?
Yeah, if you think we should interview him, then let's put it together.
Get in touch with us. Email Producer at SpecialChronicles.com. Producer, email us Producer at SpecialChronicles.com with your guest suggestions for podcasts.
Yeah, or Carol, we can figure out how to talk. You can get a hold of my sister, and we'll figure out how to talk. We obviously won't be able to physically get together right now, but we can talk via phone or whatever. And if you feel it's somebody we should interview and they have something that they want to share, we'd love to do that.
Yeah.
So let's follow up with that, Carol.
Yeah. So
thanks for the idea.
Once again, email Produso@specialchronicles.com, Produso@specialchronicles.com, and we will look to make that happen. I know we have in about a week we have a planning meeting. Actually, not we, as in you and me. Me and Darian are one of our board members. Darian, one of my producers, will be getting on a 2-hour Zoom call, planning. That's all we're doing our planning on Zoom. Well, but if you think about it, it makes sense, because when your producer lives out in D.C., Maryland, well, I can't really. I mean, I can, but it's not safe yet to fly out to go sit at a kitchen table.
No, not yet.
And so with that, this is kind of long. Let's 2020 resolutions of opportunities. I did want us to kind of talk about some of our personal resolutions for 2021, but I think for the sake of time, we're going to keep this as originally planned in the show notes as resolutions of opportunities for Special Chronicles, podcasts, blogs, videos, maybe some live audience shows. Maybe we'll bring back our live audience podcasts in 2021. Yeah. Maybe we'll see. But with that, maybe briefly, one idea we had was to take a second attempt at an exclusive membership website, backstage content available only to our monthly and annual supporters. This is something that we've been talking about at least within the past week. But then maybe and kind of let's just kind of throw ideas out there, either that idea or
I think
as we look to 2021, our resolutions of opportunities.
I think when we look and I've been thinking a lot about this, and Daniel and I are discussing kind of what do we want 2021 to be for Special Chronicles. How can we make and keep on making a positive difference and helping more people? And we very much realize that to start off with, the beginning of 2021 is still going to have the virus challenges. It's still going to have the economic challenges. It's still going to have basically all the challenges that the world faces right now. So I don't know. We're all very optimistic that things will get better, but it's going to take some time. Good things take time to materialize and to happen, even when there's a lot of people behind the scenes doing things. And I think the world is really trying to get better, but it's going to take some time. So we have to figure out how do we help more people? How do we make a difference in the world going into 2021? And realistically, probably most of 2021. I think that as things get better, it's not going to be something that one day we're this way and the next day everything's fine. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a slow evolution, which is probably the right thing to do. So what we're thinking about is just a whole variety of things. We want to continue doing the podcast. We want to continue doing talking to people, interviewing people, having them talk about the things. What Daniel alluded to is one of the thoughts we're in addition to that, maybe do in addition to do some type of exclusive membership where we talk about more specific things that they
even just
to them.
Behind the scenes stuff that's going on at Special Chronicles.
We don't know. We're just thinking about that. And but one of the things I think, especially on this forum, is in order to come up with good ideas, we're really asking our viewers and our listeners to any ideas you have, throw them at us. We're going to try to put together what makes sense not only to us but to everybody else. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we've done this last year really evolved because of what was happening in the world, and they made sense, and they've been very well received. So obviously, we're going to continue those. But we want to expand and grow beyond that. So that's what we're thinking about. And any ideas that anybody else has, we want to hear them.
I want to kind of go a little bit beyond like these kind of overall topics or whatever, and we'll maybe let's just talk between you and me as board member, business manager, founder of Special Chronicles, kind of going back and forth, and just kind of, instead of like these broad, like we want to talk to this person, or have this person do a show, or that person do a show, and maybe kind of get into some really not full detailed, but somewhat detailed topic, not topics, ideas. For example, one, our good friend, fellow SSIGM colleague Ian from Great Britain, he hopefully will be launching his Intellectual Conversations podcast on our network. We'll hopefully be premiering his podcast. So that's one example of getting some other shows, some other podcasts joining our network at Special Chronicles. On our network on specialchronicles.com.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point, and that's something that we've been thinking about and evolving around. Is there's so many more people out there that have been that have really good ideas for their specific show, and we want to incorporate them into Special Chronicles network, so they can broadcast their shows through that. And Ian is one, I believe. Do you already have a date for him, Daniel, on his first show?
Of when his podcast is premiering? No. I did just send him a message on WhatsApp, so we're gonna hopefully we'll get on the phone soon.
But we got several other people too. Jose, of course, is expanding his show. So
Live with Jose TV.
Yeah, then
livewithjosetv.com.
Right.
Lisa's amazing individual shows.
Yeah.
A whole amazing what is it called? Amazing individuals show.
Yeah, so that's gonna be
she's continuing
that, and then Lauren, isn't she doing something?
Okay, so no, Lauren is she has a blog called Exceptionalities. She just did a podcast takeover where she actually interviewed me for her whole blog. But we'll actually I asked her on there, and I was kind of off there as well, through text message and talking and stuff, and about having her as not having a podcast, but having a maybe, I don't know, but we'll really more having her write some blogs on specialchronicles.com.
Yeah. Well, I think that was my whole point. That's one of the directions we're going to be growing. There's a lot of really good talent out there that have stories to say, and we just named a few that are actually we're already working on. Launches for the beginning of this year, or the beginning of 2021. So those are some of the things that not only the people that we mentioned, but we will try to incorporate even more of those. And what that's going to do is just allow the messages of helping people with disabilities and challenges in life, help us be able to share stories from different perspectives to more people in the world.
Yeah, and with that, sorry, I shouldn't be reading these live comments. I'm getting distracted.
Live comments are good, and keep them coming.
Keep them coming. I'm just getting distracted by your comments. Okay, so anyways, that's all fantastic, but let's what's maybe, I guess, just throwing out I guess another one of our board members, Diane Compton, she and we all actually the still co-authoring the Special Chronicles book, focusing on the theme of full circle inclusion, the right ability to make our dreams come true. But really, the Special Chronicles book, we'll both still write in that, and so hopefully in 2021 we can get that published. Hopefully. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think
Thoughts?
that
hopefully that book.
You guys have probably put together quite a bit of the book.
A manuscript, yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost there, and it would be a good goal to try to have that published. It will probably be electronic publishing, which is
ebook. Maybe
the only real cost-effective way in today's world.
We'll see. But if you guys have ideas, email producer@specialchronicles.com.
I would definitely like to see you were able to get some of the people that you heard on the various podcasts this year were just very successful, talented people that have devoted their time and passion into helping people. And so I'd like to see if we can get some more owners of businesses or people that are making a difference. We want to get some more of the powerful people, in addition to following up with everybody that we've obviously have done something this year. But those are powerful messages,
and
I want to hear more.
Kind of jumping off of what you just said, season 2 of our Unified at Work series, season 2 of our Unified at Work series that we co-produce with United Airlines, we would like to expand that and get into maybe another 10 episodes for season 2, and talk with a pilot from United, talk with Joe, who's a photographer for United, talk with some other an agent or two, or kind of expand that Unified Work series, maybe even expand our house series, maybe just expand some of the other original series that we have produced, and or have Bill Dryle from the Helping Hand Center, have him back on for a few more episodes. Expand, we didn't mention this, but our ComEd series, expand our podcast series. So if you guys go to specialchronicles.com/ComEd, you will see that we have a podcast series of those ComEd related episodes, and so maybe have some more dedicated episodes that are on different energy efficiency topics. Explain that as well as getting more sponsors on board, like maybe bidding most coffee, or
Right. Yeah, in ComEd, I know I've already talked to them. We're trying to decide how best to send the messages out in 2021, because a lot of the things we do ComEd are on location events throughout the year, and at least at the beginning of the year, that's probably not going to be realistic, because large events are just not safe. So we'll probably do some type of virtual events, and we've talked about possibly even interviewing some of the various management and senior people at ComEd to what their thoughts are on a lot of these topics. So we're not sure what it's going to be yet, but during the month of January, we're committed to trying to formulate that. So again, we've already started the conversations. We have like a whiteboard with a lot of ideas thrown on it, and I'm sure during the month of January we'll formulate some of those things of which ones are going to and how we're going to turn them into reality in 2021.
Yeah, awesome. Any other? We'll add about 2 hours and 14 minutes of this episode. Any? As we talk about our 2021 resolutions of opportunities, or should we start to kind of wrap up this? Daniel's walking New Year's Eve greatest hits best of 2020 episode 406 of the Special Chronicles show.
Yeah, I think hopefully you guys have enjoyed this, and I know we have.
Yes.
Just to kind of exchange ideas about some of the exciting things that we've done. It's really been nice.
It's always exciting to get behind the microphone and to not only have just me in the studio. I know this show it's just overall it's hard to get multiple people in the studio, but one of the things that we know is popular, we would love to get back is on location.
Right.
Our live audience podcast, our live audience podcast, and really getting out there to you people, get out there to you audience, to you listeners, meeting you in person, doing these live audience podcasts. We would love to.
I think that's exactly right, Daniel. Just on location stuff as both in Special Chronicles we've done and have had just people love it. The ComEd events are all on location. We've got a tremendous, great response from the community wherever we're on, whatever location we're at, and those type of things. We miss them, and because I think that we, can actually get our message across and get people involved. When you're at a location, you're getting people involved. You're talking to them one-on-one. Which is a nice compliment to the studio recordings that we do, but that's not going to stop us. We know very well that at least going into the year for some period of time, that's not going to be realistic. And when it becomes realistic, it'll be a slow transition. We're not going to go from studio to doing being at a place that has hundreds of people. Probably be small events first, but who knows? Again, we can't control that. Doctors and scientists will help guide us to when it's safe to do that. We want everybody to be safe. At least in the studio, know we can do that. So we'll start this way and then transition as appropriate.
Absolutely.
But
let's as we do come to a close and wrap up this 2-hour live podcast. This is episode 406 of the Special Chronicles show, our Special Chronicles 12 Celebrations series finale. Daniel's Rockin New Year's Eve. We're recording this on Thursday, the 31st of December, 2020. We're about to turn the page, about to turn the calendar to 2021. But let's take a moment and remind our listeners how we're at 75% of our $12,000 goal.
Yeah, what I want to say is, first, again, I want to thank everybody that's helped support Special Chronicles. If it wasn't for everybody's generosity and kindness, we couldn't produce this. To get audiences to 30, 40,000 viewers every month, there's so much behind the scenes. And there's costs associated with that, running the studio, and all the support stuff that needs to happen to make that a reality. And we thank everybody from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are making the difference. We're just the mechanics behind it, but it's because of you that we can do this. So we're excited about everybody that has helped this year-end campaign. Like I said, we're 75% of the way there. We still got till midnight tonight, so please click on the donate button
on specialchronicles.com, the Give Now button.
Yeah, it really, you guys make the difference, and we appreciate that.
We do. From the bottom of our hearts, we really do appreciate all the support that you guys have. If it's a one-time donation, if you donate on a monthly, or if you donate annually,
whatever you can do will help us tremendously, and please help us.
It will help us to continue to reach more of those of us with special needs. It will help us to reach more guests coming on. It will reach more individuals to have their own podcasts. It will help us to reach new audiences as well. That's another thing as well. We're trying to grow our audience out of all the podcasts, all the blogs, all the columns, all the videos, media content that we're producing on specialchronicles.com.
Yeah, we're growing. Our audiences are growing nicely in a nice controlled pace every year, and we'd like to keep on doing that.
So
and,
you can just for the podcast listeners, we should remind you, if you're not watching the video on YouTube, we remind you can donate now. specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, right?
Yes.
specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, or just go to specialchronicles.com, click the Give Now button. In the description of this episode, whether you're listening to the podcast or you're watching the video, click that link to donate, specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, and click the Give Now button and help us. It really goes a long ways to really make an impact with this mission that we're grateful to have this mission as Special Chronicles, and
to keep making a difference in a lot of
to
people's
continue
lives.
to as our partner ComEd says, as one of our major partners ComEd says, ComEd is powering lives. Well, ComEd is powering the lives of us to keep not only the lights on, but ComEd is powering ComEd is helping to power our mission. So you listeners, by you donating, going to specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, and by you donating, making a gift today, you can power lives and make a difference, and you can actually give respect and a voice to those of us with special needs, but also the mainstream community as well. So please, once again, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for your support. Please go on to specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven, specialchronicles.com/EOandGiven. Click that Give Now button and make a gift today. Make a gift today. One time, monthly, annual. Make a gift today. Specialchronicles.com. Click that Give Now button and make a gift today. Thank you so much. Help us. We're so close. We're at 75% of our $12,000 goal. We're so close. Help us to reach our goal so we can continue this powerful mission at Special Chronicles.
And with that, I'd like to close off just by thanking everybody for being part of Special Chronicles during this last year, 2020. Whether you donated something to help us, or whether you came and listened to one of our shows, or whether you called us and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing," or you contributed an idea of how to, something that you thought was important. We listen to every idea, and a lot of our shows are from if somebody has a good idea, we're going to make it happen. And so everybody who is involved in any way whatsoever, whether it's we have a lot of people that are come and listen to us every week actually, and some that will listen occasionally, and some that are one-timers that have just heard about us, and we will actually get called. Daniel tells me about this. Hey, I got the call from somebody that heard about us, and they live whatever country they live in, and they listen to our show and like what they heard.
Well, and with that,
really cool.
I just got an email just a day, I think just yesterday, from a new guest that's he and his one of his daughters has Williams syndrome, but they're going to be in the process of booking them, but he's a musician, but he hasn't heard of Special Chronicles, but he said his wife has heard of Special Chronicles. So it's speaking to what you just said.
Right.
It's amazing the impact that we're making. It's amazing how many people. And I talked with one of our listeners down in Florida. Not to mention our international listeners too, but a listener down in Florida. I just got on a Google Meet call, on a video conference call with one of our listeners down in Florida. So it's amazing the impact. It truly amazes me the impact that we are continuing to make I mean, we've been making an impact the past 12 years, but we are continuing to reach new listeners, continuing to make an impact.
Right. And some of the, you know, we've gotten, like Daniel says, gotten calls from somebody who just happened to see one of our podcasts or listen to one of our shows or whatever, or somebody said, hey, you should, you know, call Special Chronicles, and the next thing you know, I mean, one day they didn't hear about us, next minute they heard about us, and they call us, they talk to us, they like it, and all of a sudden, you know, Daniel puts together a interview on one of our shows with them, and we get some remarkable people out there who have shared their lives and their challenges and their excitements and of their lives, and that's what makes Special Chronicles works. It's the stories of people, and you know, so we're thankful. So again, I want to end the year by saying thank you to everybody whose lives we touched, and everybody whose lives you have touched our lives too.
Yeah.
So thank you, and we look forward to just in a few hours the start of 2021 with just more of trying to make a difference in the world. And we got lots of ideas. Now we just got to harness them and see which ones we can start and what matter, and still be safe in today's environment.
And if you have ideas of whether it's a podcast series or a video or something that you would like us to produce in 2021, please reach out to us. Email producer at Special Chronicles. Email producer at specialchronicles.com, producer at specialchronicles.com, and get in touch with. We need to wrap up. But we want to say, well, as a lot of you listeners are giving us cheers and Happy New Year's in the comments.
Yeah, I see the comments coming in from a lot of people, and Happy New Year's to everybody.
One of them is your sister.
One of Eva. Thank you very much. Happy New Year's to you also. And I know of my sister, we were always, Eva, she's actually listening right now.
Live, listening live.
We were, you know, we would have various special events throughout the year. We would get together at, you know, whether it's the Duck Derby for Special Olympics in downtown Chicago or another event, we would just, you know, take time to all get together and go out somewhere and do something. You know, we went, the Duck Derby, we did that a couple of times.
The Chris Kindle Market.
We went to
that new Starbucks Reserve.
Yeah,
place.
But also the Special Olympics.
The Eternal Flame of Hope at Soldier Field. And walked around.
So we kind of missed those events, and I know
gatherings,
my sister will continue our traditions of getting together, and you know, as soon as we can safely do that. But I know Daniel and I just really enjoy that and look forward to doing that again as soon as possible. So
with that,
thank you.
With that, thank you, and
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year to everyone. Let us be, as we wrap up to 2020, let us be, if you are listening to this podcast later in 2021, let us be the first to wish you a Happy New Year 2021.
And a safe and healthy New Year.
Yes, safe, yes. Definitely, I think now more than ever, we really want to emphasize that safe.
Yeah. And keep making a difference. Thank you, everybody.
So until then, we will be back next week with some, and in the new year with more exciting podcasts right here on the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com. So remember to rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts and everywhere they listen. And go to specialchronicles.com, look in the show notes for episode 406. I'm getting hand motion show, so it's
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year 2021. We'll see you. We'll see you on next episode in the new year. Until then, we'll say remember to include. Until then, remember Choose to include. Until next week, we nimble. Choose to include. Wait, hold on.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Oh, whoops.